By the age of 27, I had launched a pharmaceutical company and I had my first 3 lines of products within women's fertility. I have flown into Dublin to spend some time at a pharmaceutical event learning about growth and strategy. And this is something that I have always wanted to be a part of. So for anyone that's listening that's a pharmacist, I just want to tell you a little bit about the journey about how I got into pharmaceuticals. I went into university in Ireland at the age of 17 and I studied pharmacy. When I graduated, I really wanted to go into clinical pharmacy because I wanted to just have that knowledge about drugs. Like at the end of the day, when you graduate as a pharmacist, it's your training that really makes you a drug expert. Graduated, I actually worked in the #1 hospital in Ireland. It was really intense. I was super young. I graduated with a master's by the age of 21. I jumped into a really serious career straight away. I just knew that working in a hospital or as a clinical pharmacist wasn't for me long. I always wanted to have my own pharmaceutical company. Really did not know how to set one up. Decided that I would just train as a clinical pharmacist for 5 years. So then after 5 years, I decided to do a business degree to learn more about the corporate side of things, to learn about accounting, business strategy, marketing, growth. I just didn't think I'd be able to set up a pharmaceutical company without having a formal business degree. I decided to take all my savings and move to London, study at Imperial. As I was learning about strategy and growth and marketing, I decided that actually that was the time for me to really set up the company. I studied during COVID and that was actually really tough, but that ended up being a blessing in disguise because during that semester remote, I moved back to where my parents live and that's where I found my co-founders. During class, I'd learn about strategy and supply chain, and then in the evening, I would apply exactly that to my own plan. It kind of felt like make-believe. None of it really felt real. Then a year later, I ended up receiving my first products. My co-founders and I, we really spent some time just trying to understand the market. My whole philosophy was, let me just give this a shot. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I haven't lost anything. I've tried my best. After we had done our market research, we then started formulating. After we had done our market research, we knew exactly what the pain points were. Like, I'll talk about the formulating in more detail in another video because that's a whole 20-minute chat. Once we got the approvals from like the European regulatory authorities, we were then able to find our manufacturers fit because your manufacturer is everything. They're the ones that really bring your vision to life. Once we found the manufacturer, it was go time. We then had to make sure that we had the graphics that we wanted, the design, learning all about the different regulations. What does the font size have to be on a product? My advice here is like, don't be afraid of the process because you learn along the way. When contracts were signed, deposits were paid, manufacturing process started. Manufacturing took around 6 months. We had to get some samples and we also shipped some to the Middle East so that we could actually sample it with our target audience. Once you actually sample it and you know that it fits their needs, then you're almost assuring your success. That step for me was so critical because I had put my whole life savings into this. I had worked for around 6 years and I had spent all my money on getting a business degree and setting up a pharmaceutical company. While the products are being manufactured, we then had to work on the importing documentations, working directly with the government, making sure that they're really happy, everything's above board. There's so much red tape in pharma. The day the approvals from the governments came in, I remember crying so much that day. It's such an amazing feeling when you work so hard for something and it actually comes true. Then the products went to be packaged and we received them. When the products hit the market, oh my God, it was incredible. We had a very strong marketing strategy. Phase 1 was really successful. That's when I actually felt like we could take our first breath. Okay, so that's my makeup done. I don't know how the girlies do it because it is so difficult to concentrate, but I hope you enjoyed it.